coached 3 of those players in Bloomsburg and whatnot. So without further ado, I am proud and pleased to introduce our new head football coach for Quincy University, Coach Tom Pajic.
Thank you, and good morning. It's a great day for me and my family. Hopefully the same for Quincy University. It seems like when you get hired across the country, everybody has a story to tell. Well, I too have a story to tell. It's unbelievable when you see Division I coaches and sometimes the things that occur and they go through to get to that first step and that first day. I had a 2-hour drive from Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania to Philadelphia International Airport. That took me 7 hours. Which I left at 12, I got the call actually at 11, trying to get some HR things completed, the contract signed and faxed back. My wife said, get home and pack. That wasn't much of a big deal. Well, it was, because I had to pack for a week and didn't figure that part of it. I left at 12 on time, had a sandwich, and I was be there by 2:15. They closed the Northeast Extension in northeast of Pennsylvania, obviously. It's like closing Route 70 for 8 hours. And I thought to myself, well, this picks up a little bit. I'll be there by 4 o'clock and be able to get on the 4:25 flight. Well, I wouldn't even close. I barely made the 7:25 flight. So I get there. My wife told me original place to park. I called her back. That's changed. Pull it up. I'll park the car. Get your luggage because you're going to be late and might not checking in. Pulled the big luggage. She was like Hercules. She took my 70-pound bag out of the back of the trunk and brought it in. I ran in, make sure I had everything. Took a breath and ran on in. And I get to the desk, and the lady said, well, I can't check it, it's too late. She just pulled away with the car. I said, okay, put on the flight tomorrow. You have to accompany me back tomorrow. Well, I have to be there tonight. Okay, I'll tell you what, leave it here, put in security. We can't do that. So then I become speechless. Okay, I have no options here. None. Call your wife. Last time I thought I called her. She pulled out of the parking spot, pulled back around, threw the bag in the car. She parked it. I went in, found the V gate, ran to my mom and dad that were boarding the plane. And I said, okay, this is a family thing. I'm not getting on that plane unless I see my wife coming down the way. So I see this A-list commercial, my wife without her shoes on. Just took them off at security and she's running, and right then I knew we were going to make the flight. And because of her frequent flying across the country with what she does, it wasn't her first rodeo, and we made it, and we're here, and that's the bottom line. Thank Dr. Macy. It was a great interview process. Really enjoyed the time here, and I thought it was as well loyal as it could have been with your athletic director being the head basketball coach as well. Marty, I will never want your job, so don't worry about that. Marty Bell did a great job. It was a class act interview process, timely fashion, to the best of his ability. And I'm excited to work with Marty, because that's what I think it's going to be. He's going to be alongside of our program, helping our program, just like I believe he's helped all the programs here. And I think that's the sign of a great leader, a great servant leader, and a person who wants to see all the student athletes here become better and advance for a great college politics experience. His staff, Rob Mallory. Rob, I appreciated the 4-hour trip. Appreciate you being the pickup guy. And I'll tell you, I told my wife it was 4 hours, went by like it was 2 minutes, because we talked the whole way, and I really appreciate that. Danielle, great meeting you, obviously. I know with 2 men, that administration part, it's not easy with Marty and Rob, meeting those guys. But to make maybe your job a little bit easier, thinking of some of the things I have to wear in this program, I think I'm going to be the guy solely in charge of academics. I can coach special teams, I can coach the offense, I can be the recruiting coordinator, but I think the number one key for me here is to be the head coach of the academic program. So there won't be a GA, there won't be an assistant, it will be me on a daily basis, interacting and figuring out, where our students stand, how they can become better, and what avenues it's going to take us to get there. So hopefully that'll ease your mind a little bit. I don't know if you've had that in the past, but I feel that's the most important thing. And I think that'll ensure our success down the road. Obviously, the athletic coaches, when I met in the meet and greet conference, I felt like I was at home. And that was a big part of the decision here. You're getting, as I told those guys, Team Pajic. My wife, I was married in 2004, happily married, great relationship, and I'm excited for us. Gracie's 7, Tommy Jr.'s 5, so you're going to get all of this, and that's important. Talking to Jack and some of the elder people here that have been in the area, community's big for me. That's very important. I'm coming from a great environment, conducive to my family, conducive to my profession. And I feel I'm getting the same thing here, and I'm excited to do that. Father John, I enjoyed our conversation. You know, everybody asked me how the interview process go. I said it was fantastic. Long day. You know, sometimes I thought it was never going to end. And I said I had one of the parts. I had a chance, an enjoyable conversation with Father John. I said, if you can't talk to a guy on the road, you can't talk to anybody. That went really well, and I enjoyed that process. You know, Tiffany had a chance to meet as well. Obviously, student affairs is a big part of what we do. You know, our student athletes are the face of the community of the university. You know, probably 450 of them, and 1,200 student population. We're very visible, and that's very important. So we will certainly make sure we're doing everything from a day-to-day standpoint that puts our student athletes in the best possible light. You know, Cindy, obviously with admissions, we're going to be walking hand in hand. We're going to run all of our recruiting through the admissions department, a ton of day visits, and we're going to bring a great caliber student athlete here on campus. It's going to be a partnership. You know, Tom Pajic is not going to be the sole answer to changing the culture of this program. It's going to take all of us. I'm going to have to rely on everybody in this room, because that's how we're going to get forward, and we're going to do it together. And if I thought it was otherwise, I would have any chance at any success at all. So it was a great interview process. It was wonderful. Enjoyed meeting everybody. You know, Donna, secretaries, Julie. It was great. Again, that's part of it. You know, you guys interviewed me, and there are the things that I wanted to speak to people other than what I was doing in football. And it was a great environment. It reminded me of home. I appreciate the rain and the darkness, because it's a beautiful day, because sometimes you get that in Pennsylvania a lot. We joke about that. But hey, every day is a great day. And after yesterday, it just goes to show you, the best laid plans. You got to do the best that you can and take what the Lord above gives you, and you move on from there. Seems like the interview process is still going on. I'd like to, address my family. I would not be standing here before you. I didn't have the support staff that I've had my whole life. And I can stand here before you to acknowledge that, the family is what's gotten me here. My dad, I learned tremendous work ethic. You were a tremendous mentor, and I learned everything from you. I've had great ones, great people, but no one like you showed me that no job is too small for who you are, where you aspire to be. The work ethic that you have, the sacrifice you've had for our family. When I was at the University of South Florida, I remember standing in our apartment at the window. My wife had gotten a promotion. I was the Division I assistant coach, making great money. Before I left, I had a chance to interview with Walt Harris at Pittsburgh. I interviewed for 8 hours, standing. I never thought I could do anything for 8 hours like that. So my opportunity was going to be great. I was on track to, aspire to do different things at the Division I level. And I was torn whether I should leave or not. I was all over the board. I remember my dad just, at the end, the last day, hey, son, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. But you've always known the family's the most important thing. And at that point in time, I was engaged, about to be married, wanted to have a family. At that point in time, the world had dropped off my shoulders. And it was an easy decision. We decided to go to Quincy University, Pennsylvania. And Dad, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Your sacrifices have been unbelievable. And I've worked hard to follow in your footsteps. And the one thing I always take pride in is, your name is Pajic, and that is my name. And I've worked hard to keep that polished and pure. And therefore, I named my son Thomas Anthony Pajic Jr. So maybe one day, he can be proud of me in that name as I am as you. Mom, you sacrificed so much, your faith and your hope, and you will certainly be at the pearly gates in the #1 spot. And there's nobody better. And the encouragement, faith, to walk by faith and not by sight, I've learned all that from you. How all this goes in the future, I will do my best to make you guys proud, to make the community proud, the university proud, because that's the only way I know. We're going to do it the right way. I remember sitting outside the gym in high school, the last guy standing, because it was a Catholic high school, and they locked the doors. They wouldn't even let me in as a senior. I had to sit outside in the winter months, and there came Mom, 2 headlights, 35-minute, barring traffic commute. We lived in Cherryville, New Jersey. It was a 35, van commute. My sister had gone there previously ahead of me, so I followed in the footsteps. to a great basketball program. I wound up being better at football. So I had great mentors there. And I can remember sitting there and knowing that you would work a full day and we had dinner to take care of. And you would always be there for me. And I appreciate that. I love you both. My beautiful wife, this kind of turned full circle for us. I left for you for a promotion. Walked by faith, not by sight. I knew family was important. I knew you were the lady that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And there we turned and went to Bloomsburg University. Got married in 2004. And she's been everything to me, and behind every great man is a great woman, and there's no change here. We have two beautiful young kids that she's done a great job. You know, I say I've done a great job. She's an executive. She is a soccer coach. She is a husband. She is a mother. She's involved in the school. She flies around the country. And the balance that she has is unbelievable. And I love you so much, and thank you for, this was a family, this wasn't Tom Pajic. Hey Marty, listen, I'm going to take this job. This was, hon, what do you think? What do you think? How do you want to go about this? You think we can do this, make this? Is this the right thing? This is what I know. Tell me what you know. You know, we're leaving a great support staff, leaving our family, but at the end of the day, we found a lot of support and a lot of peace with our decision. And she's our #1 fan. She's going to be involved in our program. Our kids are going to be involved in the program like it was at Bloomsburg, which was very conducive from our head football coach. So, hon, we're going to make it work. It's going to be a great transition. She is tremendously excited. They're going to wind up leaving here shortly. They have probably out here at 10:30 for a 1 o'clock flight, or 2 o'clock flight, I should say. So it's not her first rodeo, so I know she'll make it. She got me here after last night's episode. I have ultimate respect and faith that those guys will make it home safely, and they're in the best travel agent in the world. So I love all you guys, and thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. You know, I would always dream this day would come, and I want to make sure you guys were here to enjoy it, you know, alongside me. So thank you. I've had great mentors. Danny Hale. There's no finer man in college football at Quincy University. He's more concerned about my welfare and my family's welfare than he is as an assistant coach for him. Halloween, my kids come in, he shuts the film off, and we're preparing for a game, and my kids are all dressed up, and he comes in, and he's 63 years old, he gets on the floor, and he greets me. That's unbelievable. There's no price you can put on that. He's taught me many things about student athletes, many things about people. He's the dean of Division II. There's I think Northwest Missouri State is maybe one school, maybe a couple others that have more wins than us in the past decade. What he's done has been unparalleled. And to take a piece of him, you know, with me and what I've learned, very important. Barry Streeter at Gettysburg. I took a job for $2,500, slept in a walk-in closet, shirt and tie, meal card. Best job I ever had. Best job I ever had. Because he was a great man. He was a great family man. He understood what it was all about. Nick Rotaro was now in North Texas. He was at the Fordham University. Apologize to the Franciscans Jesuit Institution, and Dr. Coffey would be proud of that, his alma mater. I've been blessed. I've been blessed. So many people have been part of my life to get me to this point. And that's how it works. It's about people. Nothing more, nothing less. Very exciting time to be here. It's a new era. It's the beginning of a new era. I spoke to the 7 a.m. Football squad this morning. They're involved in finals, involved in heading home. That was very important in this process. I know for Marty and me as well, because those guys, as I told my wife, hey, how did it go? Well, I thought it went well. Until, you know, Tiffany reminded me, and Joe said, well, it was kind of early, maybe they weren't paying attention. I could be very old. Thanks, you probably got just a little bit more. I thought I had home run, but I'm not sure. But it went well. They were like my son and daughter, looking for help. It was a transition. And those kids looked at us as parents. I can see it in their eyes. They were all attentive, eye-to-eye contact. They were looking for a fresh start. And that's good. Transition is good. Change is good. A little nervous, not sure, but it's good. And I just spoke to them like I was basically speaking to you guys. It's going to be done with a family orientation. It's going to be team chemistry. We're going to do it together. I had the seniors stand and said, this is your restaurant. We're going to make this the best experience we possibly can for you. And then you guys have to invest and get everybody else to invest. We're going to go and be successful as fast as everybody invests in what we're trying to do. That's community service, that's academically, that's football related.